Hello, welcome to VNA Broadcast Daily. I'm following today's highlights.
Vietnamese leaders give separate receptions for visiting Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. They are pleased with ties with Iran. The Ministries of National Defense of Vietnam and Laos discussed the special combatant alliance between their armed forces. Buddhist monks and nuns pray for the peace of the souls of traffic accident victims and raise public understanding of traffic laws.
Vietnamese leaders give separate receptions for visiting Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad in Hanoi on November 9th and 10th. They were all pleased with the fine development of the ties with Iran.
At the meeting with the Iranian President, Party General Secretary Win Phu Chum said he hoped Vietnam and Iran will continue exchanging delegations at various levels and increase trade cooperation as well as expanding cultural and educational activities to deepen mutual understanding. The Iranian President was received by Prime Minister Win Tan Dung, who affirmed that Vietnam attaches importance to the development of friendship and cooperation with Iran. He suggested that the two sides continue exploiting potential and advantages for cooperation and development for the common interests of both countries. Receiving the Iranian guest, National Assembly Chairman Win Sing-hung expressed his belief that the visit by President Ahmadinejad will contribute importantly to intensifying the two countries' cooperation. He suggested raising the role of the Vietnam-Iran Friendship Parliamentarians Group in fostering cooperation between the two parliaments. For his part, Ahmadinejad said he is delighted with his first visit to Vietnam. He stated that Iran places importance on fostering traditional friendship and cooperation with Vietnam, as well as actively supporting Vietnam at multilateral forums within the framework of the United Nations and the Non-Aligned Movement. The President declared the bilateral relations have achieved successes in many fields and stressed the determination of Iran in continuing to cultivate multilateral ties with Vietnam to take advantage of either side's strengths. He suggested the two nations strengthen trade exchange, especially in aquatic and agricultural products, to increase two-way trade turnover in the future. Iran will create favourable conditions to help Vietnamese products penetrate the Iranian market, he concluded.
The Ministries of National Defense of Vietnam and Laos co-organized a seminar to discuss the Special Combatant Alliance between Vietnamese and Lao armed forces in the Lao capital city, Vientiane, on November 9th. We have more.
During the event, 22 speeches and presentations confirmed the right leadership and guidelines of the two parties, governments and ministries for the Special Fighting Alliance. The armed forces and people's 30-year struggle against French colonialism and US imperialism was reviewed, and the lessons and experience summed up to be maintained and promoted in the cause of national construction and defense of the two countries. The seminar also offered an opportunity for the two nations to review the traditional solidarity of the Special Combatant Alliance based on the pure and noble international spirit. It also aimed to extend gratitude to heroes, martyrs, heroic mothers, wounded soldiers and veterans who devoted their lives to building and nurturing the two armies' special relations. Deputy Defence Minister, Senior Lieutenant General Win Thang Gung, expressed his belief that the combatant solidarity between the two armies and their countries will last forever and overcome any difficulty.
The Great Mekong Sub-Region Investment Corporation Forum 2012 took place in the Central Highlands province of Dak Lak on November 9th. Participants proposed a host of stimulus measures to achieve sustainable development.
The annual event, held in alternate regional countries, revealed means to boost investment and implement economic development objectives in the Mekong region, economic corridors in the sub-region, and the Vietnam-Laos Commercial Development Triangle in particular. Participants put forward measures to remove barriers and promote regional development cooperation. They said regional countries should give investment incentives to areas facing difficulties. They also underlined the need for the parties to coordinate in the building mechanisms and policies to attract investment from each other in order to promote the advantages and internal strengths of each country as well as the whole region. The countries in the sub-region need to collaborate closely to draw in official development assistance and foreign direct investment to the region, while forming a large-scale material supply zone to serve production.
Denmark will provide support for Vietnam to build the first ever energy-saving house in Ho Chi Minh City in 2013. The plan was revealed at a seminar on building a Danish active house held in the city on November 9th.
Present at the seminar, visiting Danish Minister of Climate, Energy and Building, Martin Lidegaard said Denmark and Vietnam have huge potential in energy-saving cooperation. The building of the house will open up new cooperation opportunities for both countries in the field, he added. Deputy Chairman of the Municipal People's Committee, Lê Mạnh Hà, said energy consumption of Ho Chi Minh City accounts for 1/3 of the national total. The city is taking measures to save energy, especially in construction and green growth. The project on energy-saving houses aims to encourage the optimal use of energy in buildings and by small and medium-sized enterprises.
As of mid-October, Vietnam exported $450 million worth of tuna, marking a year-on-year increase of 55%, according to the Vietnam Association for Seafood Exporters and Producers.
The United States is currently the largest importer of tuna from Vietnam, accounting for nearly 45% of the total export value, followed by the European Union, Japan, Israel, Canada, and Tunisia. The Vietnam Association for Seafood Exporters and Producers said this is an encouraging sign when exports of the country's key seafood products are likely to slow down or even significantly decrease. It noted that priority would be given to increasing tuna exports and turnover, predicting tuna exports will continue to see positive signs in the future. So far this year, the central coastal provinces of Bình Định, Phú Yên and Khánh Hòa have caught more than 14,100 tons of tuna. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development's General Department of Fisheries had decided to put tuna on the list of key seafood exports.
A requiem for the peace of the souls of traffic accidents victims was held at the Vietnam Buddhism Academy in Hanoi on November 10th. The event is in response to World Day of Remembrance for Victims of Road Traffic Accidents, which falls on the third Sunday of November.
At the ceremony, hundreds of Buddhist monks, nuns and relatives of victims gathered to pray for peace of the souls of the victims and raise awareness of the serious consequences that traffic accidents have, thus raising public understanding and observance of traffic laws.
Traffic accidents are a social problem. I hope that all people, especially the youth, strictly observe traffic laws.
Hãy chấp hành thật tốt luật lệ giao thông và đặc biệt hơn là thế hệ trẻ.
At the requiem, Minister of Transport Din La Thung called for all strata of people to abide by traffic regulations and safety and share the loss suffered by victims' families. In the first 9 months of 2012, 23,200 traffic accidents were reported across the country, causing 6,657 deaths and 2,681 injuries.
A festival to celebrate Ukrainian culture began in Ho Chi Minh City on November 9th with an opening ceremony at the Opera House.
Visitors to Ukraine Cultural Days enjoyed a musical performance by the Symphony Orchestra of the National Academy of Ukraine, Jiva Yovka, National Academic Folk Choir and several other famous Ukrainian artists. There will be an exhibition of photographs featuring images of Ukraine and its people from November 9th to 13th at the City Exhibition Hall in Le Tang Don Street. On November the 11th, there will be a show of folk dances and music at the Vietnam-Japan Labour Cultural House in Ha Long City in Quang Ninh Province. There will be a repeat performance at the Hanoi Opera House on November 13th. According to the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, these events are part of a cultural exchange between Vietnam and Ukraine in 2010 to 2012.
And that comes to the end of our news today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.